it over to you, Lisa, and turn down the music there.
All right. Well, good afternoon, everybody. My name is Lisa Hammersley. I'm the Dean of the College of Natural Sciences and Mathematics, and it's my pleasure to welcome you to this event. This is the college's third year participating in Global Entrepreneurship Week, and it really has been very interesting every single year to find different ways to explore the intersections between science and innovation and entrepreneurship. This year, I'm particularly excited. Our guest, Dr. Song Lee, who my colleague, Dr. Yim-Fa Ma, will introduce formally in just a few minutes, is joining us this week, and he has been a big supporter of the college's summer undergraduate research experience. And through his support, many students have been able to spend a summer working to be paid and work in a research lab with a faculty member, gaining incredibly important experience and training as scientists. So I'm just really grateful to him for that, and really excited to have him here now to share with you in a different way to talk about his entrepreneurship. So with that, I'm going to hand off to Cameron Law, who's the Executive Director of the Carlson Center.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Lisa, and thank you to the College of Natural Science and Mathematics for partnering with us again on another Global Entrepreneurship Week. So I like that we're moving forward in 3 years in a row. So I'm excited to have this conversation, albeit virtually. I know we've had one in person and 2 virtual now, but that virtual format allows us to span the nation and have a guest speaker that I believe is in the East Coast, which we're really excited to hear, and I'm excited to hear more about Song Lee's entrepreneurial journey. But a little bit more about Global Entrepreneurship Week. It is truly a global week, so we're joining a celebration of over 180 countries around the world and celebrating the role entrepreneurship and innovation plays in building thriving communities. And so we're really excited to partner with the colleges on campus and then a number of community partners to advance programming throughout Sacramento. We are making a national presence in terms of we're, I think, ranked number 4 for number of events and activities for Global Entrepreneurship Week. And we couldn't do it without our amazing partners like the College of Natural Science and Mathematics. So thank you for partnering on this conversation. And I wanted to turn it over to my friend, Dr. Yim-Fa Ma. I always enjoy working with him, and he gives a good spirit when it comes to entrepreneurship and is always happy to roll up his sleeves and help. And so thank you, Yim-Fa, and thank you, Dr. Hammersley, for the partnership. And I'll turn it over to you, Yim-Fa.
All right. Yeah, thank you, everyone. Again, everyone, thank you so much for coming to my event. Before I formally introduce Dr. Lee, I want to mention, if you have any question during any time of the event, you can maybe send basically a chat message in through chat, or raise your hand at the Q&A session. We're going to have a Q&A after Dr. Lee's presentation. Basically, today's presentation is not going to be just a formal presentation. It's just just informational exchange. So let me go ahead and introduce Dr. Lee. And I'm very super excited to introduce Dr. Lee. I have known Dr. Lee for so many years. He is a truly amazing business leader. And also he's an amazing scientist. Don't put me wrong, I know that. So Dr. Lee, and I really appreciate you to agree to speak to our faculty, staff, and students today. I really appreciate it. And Dr. Lee is a founder, chairman, and a CEO of Frontage Laboratories Incorporated, Frontage Holding Corporation, and Frontier and Frontida and Biopharma Incorporated. And he has so many titles. I cannot introduce them all. And he received a BS degree in chemistry. Then after 5 years in teaching at a university, then he decided to get his PhD in analytical chemistry at McGill University in Montreal, Canada. In 2001, listen carefully, in 2001, and he get basically invest $100,000 with 6 friends to start the Frontage Lab Incorporated. 10 years later, right now, and he has 1,400 employees in the company and serves in a lot of pharmaceutical companies in the world. And the company itself received so many awards, and just only mention a couple of them. Basically, is a winner of a Philadelphia 100, and also one of the fastest growing companies in Philadelphia area, and Fast 50 award from USPAACC. And also a Future 50 award from Smart CEO magazine, and so on. And also in 2016, and I think that Dr. Lee is not busy enough, I guess. And he found another company called Frontage, and they right now have 250 employees again. So it's keep growing so fast. Actually, that company right now become one of the largest pharmaceutical companies in the city of Philadelphia. It's amazing. And Dr. Lee, again, it's just like I mentioned, is not only a business leader, it's also a really smart scientist. He published numerous papers in it's so very wide range in the chiral separation and drug protein interaction, the pharmacokinetics, and so on, so many. Actually, he himself received numerous awards as a business leader himself. And one of them is, for example, Outstanding 50 Asian American in Business, and also winner of a Life Science and Healthcare CEO. And also in 2018, Ernst & Young Entrepreneurship Award, and many others. As Dean and Hammersley mentioned, he is also a kind person. He strongly supports higher education. He loves supporting undergraduate students. And actually, he supported many students already, even before this. So, and he support our in college and short program, and really appreciate it. So, I can go on forever, but that's not our intention. So basically, I'm gonna turn over to Dr. Lee. Dr. Lee, just to let you know, our students at Sac State, many of them, they want to be like you. They want to be business leaders. They, just wonder, we start with this. So can you just maybe tell our, folks about, how do you become a science entrepreneur, and what takes to transfer science and research into commercialization? So I'm sure they want to directly hear from you. And basically, I give you some leading questions, and what and when and made you decide to start a company. Why you think of that? And how do you decide in what direction you're gonna go? And also, what's the decision-making process? Any challenges? And also, what other steps to, before you become current position? Basically, just give us your secret. Go ahead, Dr. Lee.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ma. Thank you all of you to take time to come together to have a informal chat. First, I would like to really to share a few slides about my company, like Frontage Laboratories. Let me see. I have here from the, okay, I think probably okay here. Can you see it or not?
No, not yet. You just need to get your screen and show your load up your slides, and then share. You need to share your screen.
Okay. Let me see. Because I usually use the. Can you see it though?
No, unfortunately, no, I cannot see it.
If you can quickly email them, I can put my email and I will.
Okay, let me.
Yeah.
My email is in the chat.
I usually use the Teams. The Teams do very.
Oh, yeah. Here.
I don't know why I cannot. Let me do again.
You can just load up and use.
You just share a screen, right?
Yeah, you share screens. The will work.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah, that here we go.
Can you see it?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. Good. Let me. Oh.
Probably you want to use the PowerPoint show. That's right. Go ahead.
That's okay.
Yeah, good.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Again, like thank you, Yinfa, for the kind words for the introduction. My name is Song Lee. I just briefly give you my background and the company I start. So as Dr. Ma told you, like I grew up in China in a really very rural area in the big mountain. Before I go to like high school, I never really come out from the mountain. I think we were classmates with Dr. Ma in college. After college, we taught chemistry for about 5 years. Then I went to Canada to get my PhD from McGill University. After that, I did 2 years postdoc research in the medical school. They call the oncology department, mainly focused on the pharmacokinetics. That's like 1991 to 93. In the end of 93, I started looking for a job. The first job I interviewed is really in a CRO company. I don't know that time. I don't know what's the CRO. Basically, the founder. It's that time the small company about 20 people. The founder, Dr. John Cooper, told me CRO company is a contract research organization. That's called CRO. So that what do we do? We do like help the pharmaceutical company do the contract research. They gave the project to us. That time I wondering, I said, why like the company gave the project to you? They can give the project to professors. The professor is the best scientist. Then the Dr. John Cooper told me, the professor is the best science. But we are not only the best scientists, we are also businessmen. So we are like really the science plus the business. So we can do better job than the university. So that's why like CRO companies survive. That's like the end of I think that year is really 2003. So that's the first time I know like what's the CRO company. Then I didn't go to the CRO company. I went to the pharmaceutical company in the United States. So I found a job in Philadelphia area. It's a small company, mainly for product development. But over there, I worked 1.5 years. The company really have a financial problem. I tried to really help the founder to turn the business around, but we cannot really. We don't have money. We didn't really turn the business around. Even that time, I suggest we start a contract lab to provide service to get some income to support the research. But the company, I think they have too much debt, so they cannot survive. No investor gave the money, so they bankrupt. So I went to big company that time called American Home Products. They have about 60,000 employees. So I go there, really worked over there for about 6 years, from a bench chemist, then become a group leader, then become a section head. So I worked there for 6 years. Then in 2001, I started really to do some initially free consulting to my former colleagues and my former bosses. So they left the company, they went to another company, but I'm a technical person. Everyone they know I'm very strong. I have very strong science, especially in the chemistry, analytical chemistry, and later on also the formulation. So when they have a problem, they call me. I say each day I spend at least 1.5 hour, 2 hours on the phone to help my former colleagues to solve their problem. Really do free consulting. Then by that time, like some of my colleagues and the friends, they said, why you don't start your consulting business? Otherwise, we cannot pay you because the company have the policy. They cannot pay me because I'm the full-time employee of American Home Products. So at the beginning, later, like end of 2000, I quit my job, start consulting for my former colleagues. So the business went very, very well. So but I gave them the idea. Sometimes they need to test. So that's why you don't start the lab. So that's why I started looking for money. Spent about 6 months, found like $100,000 from 6 friends. So I started really to build up the lab. When I do the consulting business, during the weekend and the evening, I started really sublease a small space, about 2,000 square feet. I started build up the lab. I built up the bench, fume hood, the power, and also the water, all the pipelines. So that's really take about 6 months to build up the lab. Then use the $100,000, bought one used equipment. The equipment called LC-MS, liquid chromatography and mass spectrum. So that equipment really is a very advanced technology. They can test the drug in the like biological sample like blood, urine, or the plasma at a very low level, very sensitive method, and also very good selectivity. So this really is a revolutionary equipment for analytical chemists, especially for the bioanalytical chemists. So I use that equipment. Usually the new equipment cost about $500,000 at that time. The one I bought already like about 5 generations old. So that cost me $60,000, about 60% my total investment. But from there, I started the lab by 2002. Beginning of 2002, the lab started function, only myself. But then like in March of 2002, I started to hire 1 employee. By the end of the year, I have like 6 employees. So that's the company. We grew in last 20 years. This year is our 20th anniversary. Currently, we have this slide show all the history of our company. Maybe I just give you a few key points. I think in 2001, I started in New Jersey. 2006, I started set up a lab in China, in Shanghai. Then 2008, we acquired our first clinical operation in New Jersey that mainly do clinical trials. Then in 2012, I moved the lab from New Jersey to Pennsylvania, and we really expand from 2,000 to about altogether about initially about 60,000 square feet. So then in 2018, we start acquire another operation in Cleveland, Ohio. And in 2019, the company went to IPO in Hong Kong, so become a public company with right now we have about $1.2 billion market cap. So after that, we acquired 7 companies in last 2 years. It's mostly in US, and 1 in Canada, and 1 in China. So currently we still have 3 acquisition targets. We are do the due diligence. Hopefully by the end of the year or early next year, we'll have another 3 acquisition. The deal will close. Today we have about 350,000 square feet laboratories in US, and also about 500,000 square feet laboratory in China. Total we have about 1,400 employees, half in US, half in China. So that's the current company. Yeah. Any question here?
Yeah, okay, here. Yeah, it's great. Go ahead. So just briefly go through your slides, then we can move on to next.
Okay. So that's the company of our current service. If you like, initially, as I told you, it's a small testing lab with 2,000 square feet. But slowly, in the last 20 years, we built up the company, become a full service CRO company for pharmaceutical product development. What that means is this slide shows the whole drug development process. From the top, you can see the drug discovery, preclinical development, that means to the animal study on the like the different animals from rodent, dog, monkey. Then you get to human from like phase 1 to phase 3. Then you later on you do the commercial. After commercialization, you do the phase 4. So post market. Currently, our service really cover all the pharmaceutical development process. We have 6 business units: the DMPK, the drug metabolism, and the pharmacokinetics. That really cover from discovery to clinical trials. Then we have like the active pharmaceutical ingredients, synthesis and manufacture, and the formulation development, clinical trial material manufacture. That's called like API, that active pharmaceutical ingredients. CMC, like really chemical manufacture and control. That cover the whole process. And also we have the safety talks. That's called like really preclinical service. And bioanalytical really test all the drug concentration, biomarkers, biologics, and like support the clinical trials, drug interaction, and animal study. So we have the clinical service, that meaning like focus on the clinical trials from phase 1 to phase 3. We also have central lab support. That meaning like logistics and diagnostic testing. Like right now, you know, the COVID-19 PCR test. We have that capability. We support the East Coast. A lot of people come to our lab. We sample do the sampling in the parking lots, then do the test to see whether they are infected or they are clean. So we have those services, and also other diagnostic tests. So that really cover the whole product development, become like full service product development company. Here is our purpose and our vision and our value. So our purpose really improve quality of life. Our vision really, we want to become a global science-driven CRO company, provide high quality and integrated service to our clients, high investment returns to our investors, and great career opportunities to our employees. So that's like that's our really the vision for our company. Our value really, the quality is the first. You know, like what we develop, really develop pharmaceutical product. Ourselves, our family, people, and the friends, we will use the product. So the quality is our first priority. From day one, we start to set up our quality system. I can show you later on. Another one, like integrity. Everything we do, we're honest, we are reliable, especially for the data we generate. Most time, like we don't generate product, we generate data. Really, the pharmaceutical company can use the data, even FDA use the data to evaluate the product. So that's like everything we generate have to really, the integrity is the first. Make sure all the data is true. So we have the procedure to take care of it. And the innovation, we are not only to do service, provide data to our clients, and also we innovate the methods, innovate some like technology to do the test. I think a Frontage, if you are not in the pharmaceutical area, if you're in the pharmaceutical area, other people know Frontage. Our reputation really is very strong in the science, help our client to solve the problem. Many CRO, they just do what the client tells them to do. Many times, we not only do the client tell us to do, many times we tell the client what they should do, how to do it. So even our scientists go to FDA, FDA invites our people to go there to give them presentation on the technology. So another one is the caring. So it's one of our culture. Caring, that means we care ourselves, care our co-workers, our clients, and also our community. So that's really it's an environment everyone like to work in. these slides really show our strengths. I don't want to take too much time here. We have
if you can briefly mention each slide, so I have further questions.
I can later on can show you like later on. So the first strength is our science, our technology. So we have a very strong scientific team. As I told you, we have altogether about 14,000 employees. About 70% of our people have PhD and master degrees. In the US, we have more than 150 PhD MDs. So most of our even PhD MD work in the bench, on the bench in the lab. Even myself, many times I spend some time to work on the bench with our scientists. So scientifically, we are very strong in science. The second strength is really our lab and equipment. In the last 20 years, we invest more than $150 million into the laboratory and equipment. But by the end of this year, we invest more than $200 million into the lab and equipment. So right now we have 11 laboratories in North America, about 10 in US and 1 in Canada, in Vancouver, Canada. Even 2 in California, 1 in Palo Alto, another 1 in Hayward. So in China, we have also like the lab in Shanghai and Suzhou, Zhengzhou, and Wuhan. So we have more than 500,000 square feet laboratories. We have in the lab, if you come to our lab, you will see all the advanced equipment, all the best the equipment on the market. I give you an example, like the equipment I talk about, the LCMS, MS for bioelectrical. Each one costs about $300,000 to $500,000. The new one costs about $700,000. So altogether, we have more than 150 LCMS, MS in our labs in US and in China. That's just an example. Another strength is our quality system. I think everything we do under FDA regulation. So we have 3 quality systems. If you in a pharmaceutical company, you know, like the GLP, good laboratory practice, and the GMP, good manufacturing practice, and the GCP, good clinical practice. 3 systems is different, really the requirement. So we have all the 3 quality systems. We have more than 30 like people. We call the quality assurance. They just monitor the system, make sure everyone follow the procedures. So usually like we have very good training program. We have employee, no matter you're a PhD, master or bachelor, you come to Frontage, you have 1 month quality training. So you need to go through all the SOPs. We have more than 1,000 SOPs. It depends on your job responsibility. You need to train on some of the, not all of it, but some of the SOPs before you go to lab to work on the bench. So the quality, all the quality system, we use the same quality system applied to all the laboratories over the world. No matter in China, in Canada, or in US, we use the same system. The data we generate, we have the same standard they can use for global submissions. US FDA, European EMEA, and the Canadian and the Japanese FDA, and also Chinese FDA. So the one data, you don't need to repeat it in different countries. You just use for all the different submissions. So that's our strength. That's why like Frontage have very strong competitive advantage compared to other CRO companies. So we did in last several years, we grew very fast. Usually like in the US, the growth rate about 10, probably in single digits, or like around 10%. We grew like most really 30, 40%. Even last year, because of the pandemic, we slowed down a little bit, we still grew 27%. This year, I think compared to last year, we grew probably 40%. Yeah. Okay, also the Frontage have a lot of job opening. You know, right now we have more than 120 job openings in the US and Canada. So about 55, we call the biological scientist position in Exton, Pennsylvania, and also in Haywood, California. We have 50 chemists and pharmacist position in US and in Canada, and also 15 manager, director, and vice president positions. So if you graduate soon, you can apply the job, especially in Haywood, the California, not too far from Sacramento. So I think you can connect to see whether the job you are interested. Most really the chemist and the bioanalytical chemist position. So those just like a few slides. I'll send it to Dr. Ma, and you can share with the team here.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Lee. And so can you really get out of share? So in that case, we can chat, so we can see.
Okay, let me.
Yeah, if you can just stop sharing. Okay, that's great. Thank you, Dr. Lee. I appreciate it. You present.
Stop, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
Right now we go back to normal level, and actually it's amazing. I can see from $100,000 investment to over $1 billion business. It takes 20 years. That's amazing. And I because our students, a lot of them, they really want to do, to be an entrepreneur in the future. So I'm sure you encounter quite a bit of challenges. What's your really biggest challenge at the beginning? What's the startup process?
I think the start, meaning when you start something, first you have the idea, and another one really you need really to look for the investment. So idea, I have the idea. I don't think about for many years. Even when I work for the small pharmaceutical company, I already like start something. I prepare some business plan for the founder. They don't want to use it. So anyway, so really when you start something, I think that really the first step really whether it's your strength, whether you need to really think about like the another one really you need to looking for the investment, where the money will come from. So I think fortunately I got support from a lot of friends and former colleagues. When I work for the small company, like they just 20 people, everyone know me. I'm the youngest one that time, like in the company. So
you're still young.
Something I do, I help them. They know like I can do it. So when I started the company, they try to really help me to give me some like business. Even I started before I started, I told you like I started as a consultant. So my former colleagues and my former like the boss, they know me, so they trust me. They give business. But
so you mean the networking is very important? Is that right?
Yeah, network is very important. Another one, you need to think about when you start something. It's not really you have to really you have the responsibility. No one will take your responsibility, help you if you like don't move forward. So other people just give you some support. You need really to drive it. No matter it's success or fail, really your responsibility. So that's one like you need to prepare for that. That's what I think I have a very good preparation. I know what I need to do. Even when I work for other companies, I just treat like the company like my own. So I work very hard, like even work big pharma company, like 60,000 employees. I treat myself, I'm the owner of the company. I work like each day, I work more than 10 hours. Each week, I work like more than 60 hours. So
So
when I
you,
company, I really, it's nothing for me. I still work like, right now, I still work more than 10 hours, probably like 14 hours or 15 hours per day.
you are very definitely a hard worker. So you mentioned you have a lot of positions open in your company. So I think that you say biologist, the chemist, it's pretty broad. Do you need a specific soft skill or hard skill you are looking for? That means so if they come to you to apply a job, what how do you know they are qualified or not qualified?
Usually like we have different levels. Okay, for some level like manager, director, VP, we want to have some experience. But many like scientists, you don't need to have experience. As I told you, we have like very good training program. The people come to Frontage. We have like first we call the compliance training, quality training. Then with another one really the science technology training. We usually like the quality training take about 1 month. We'll give you like each position, they have some specific SOP, standard operation procedures. Everything we do, we have the procedure like protocol. You need to follow the procedure, make sure you follow the rule.
That sounds good.
Like the 1 month training, then you go to the lab. We usually we assign like the supervisor or some like mentor to work with the scientist in the lab. This training like take the scientific training take about 3 months. Basically, first 4 months, 5 months, you cannot really generate data to really or any like production. No productivity in the first few months. Most of the training after that, then you can really, if you are good, then you start to do it independently.
I see. Okay.
In general, like if you have you are still just a graduate, it's a good place to work.
Okay.
So we have different level of the employees.
Thank you. And I think Dr. Ron Coleman has a question. Go ahead.
So Dr. Lee, you have a very high set of values for your company. You have very high standards. And yet I see that you are acquiring other companies rapidly. Do you choose companies to acquire that already have your values? Or do you have to go to the company and tell them this is how we're going to do things? Or do you avoid that by just getting ones that have similar values in the first place?
Yeah, when we do the acquisition, we have several standards. Okay, one is the business is what we want. That we have like, either we don't have, we want to expand to that area. Another one really we already have, but we want to really to expand the capacity. So one is the capability, another capacity. That's the first. We will see whether those companies meet our standard. The second one is their financial, their performance, whether they are like profitable or not profitable. The third one really is really the culture, whether like really we'll call the employee, we'll call their like customers to get the feedback, what their impression on all the feedback, the survey about their operation. So that's three like really the factor, the three key factors. There are others, we still have some factor there, but these three. If one of them don't meet our standard, we will not acquire them. Yeah.
So can I follow up? As you move into other countries, like Canada now, and I imagine as you go global, you're going to go into other countries, you will encounter different work ethics, different cultures, different ways of doing things. Do you anticipate that as a challenge?
Yeah, it's a big challenge. Even like, I came from China. I give you an example. I left China for like more than 30 years. So when I went back to China to set up our lab in Shanghai, you see the culture like shock, even like I grew up over there. When we started the lab, like over there at that time, like the China don't have a very tight regulation, the quality requirement. So we really use all the standard there. I taught like our team, we train our people, use all the US FDA requirements. That one standard will never lower our quality standard. So we go there, really, not many people use us. I tell you, like when we started in 2006 in Shanghai to 2015, we only do each year, we only do about $2 million business. Each year I lost about $500,000 to $1 million for 10 years. But the people, they said, okay, you need to really adopt like the China way to do things. It's better meet the Chinese FDA. They don't have the stringent like the requirement why you do that. So I thought we have to use the high standard. We don't want to really use the adopt that standard. For the first 10 years, we don't do well. But in 2015, the Chinese FDA changed the regulation. They started tight the regulations. Then we suddenly like our service, we have very good reputation, the quality. So suddenly in 1 year, 2016, all the clinical centers in China, they cannot do the business because they don't know how to do it under the new regulation. Only Frontage do it. So in 2016-17, we grew 12 times. From about 2 million, like in 3 years, we grew to about $40 million revenue. Yeah.
That's a really good point, to maintain your high standard. So
Yeah.
I visited your laboratory. You have a really huge modern laboratory. You grow so fast every year. So the pharmaceutical company always come to you. What's the reason why come to you? It's mainly because you are innovation technology, because you are high standard, or it seems you are super competitive compared to our other companies. So, how do you maintain your high reputation? I think our students and faculty, they want to learn how they do, they may not do a business, how to really maintain a high standard and do a good business.
I think I may give you like initially, like when we Frontage started, we were very small and began to myself, then like a few people. Most of the business we got really from the pharmaceutical company, some small companies, some big one, like even J&J. Most time in the pharmaceutical development process, sometimes you encounter some challenge, like you test the drug in blood or in urine or in the tissue. Sometimes the method doesn't work with either the stability problem or sensitivity problem or selectivity problem, all kind of problem. But FDA have the requirement. You have to validate the method, make sure that it's accurate. So many times when they encounter the challenge, even the big pharma, they cannot solve the problem. But I'm very lucky because I got some project like those. We help the company solve the problem. Then they trust me. If they at the beginning they have the difficult project, they gave it to me. But later on, slowly when we get bigger, and we start to get really the trust. For right now, we not only get the difficult project, also some other like the easy projects. We increase our capacity.
Mm-hmm.
So we got right now the top 10 the pharmaceutical company, all our clients, or like even long-term client, like a partnership, like J&J, GSK, Merck, Roche, all our clients, even Japanese, major like Japanese company like Takeda, ASA, European company like Laboratories, Roche, they all our clients.
Thank you. So let's go back. I have one guide question, then I'll go back open to public for more questions. I really hope your company can partner with the Sac State. We have super smart students, really do. One move here from Missouri, I found out, we have our annual research symposium, which shows we truly have outstanding students. How do you really our students in, say, doing internship with your company, especially in the California side? One, I know you care about higher education. So, how do you really recruit Sac State students to do, internship in your company, especially in Haywood or other side in California, in the Bay Area?
Yeah, that we can later on I can connect you or someone from your university to our team in California, in Haywood.
Okay.
And really interact with you. We have usually in Philadelphia area, we have a lot of universities. So we usually talk our HR, the human resource, connect with the university. Then we also from the scientific program, some of our employees, they do teaching over there. Or they give some talk about special the program. Right now, the university in our area, the Westchester University, they just started biomedical engineer department. So I started really work with the director, even gave them some help. I'm on there the advisory board. Same thing at the UPenn. They also have the program over there. I was on the Council of Discovery Research. So we can because we right now in the Haywood area, we just started last year. I'll talk to our team and set up the connection over there. Your students can come to in the summer can do the internship in the lab. If they do well, they know each other, they may give a job offer.
I think that'd be great. The reason is, Dr. Lee, you look at behind me, the building is a really brand new building, really
beautiful,
great place, for a student doing research. We'd like to really, if possible, and to work with your company to train a next generation of students. And I'm sure some of them are very, very excited.
Yeah, I think there are two product connections. One is really the students to the internship. Another one your professors maybe can work together.
Oh, that'd be great.
Even we have a lot of equipment they don't use. You see the equipment is still very good. As many equipment we buy new one, they use maybe for a few years. They want another generation. But those equipment for research, I will still really function like new. I'm very good on that one. As I told you, the first equipment I got really already 5 generation old, but still do as good as the new one.
Great, thank you.
I think the professor and our company, our lab can collaborate.
That's great. So, and I think that right now is open to everyone. And when you have questions, please use the chat or raise your hand. And so to communicate with Dr. Lee, he's a super business leader. So if you want to learn anything, have any question, please ask. And also on my colleagues in the faculty, you can ask questions. Go ahead. Everybody's so quiet.
Take a chance here and ask a question.
Oh, go ahead, Jared.
Go ahead.
Yeah, hi. Thank you, Dr. Lee, for a great presentation. My question is maybe a little unusual. I'm wondering if you ever partner with startup companies that have larger research objectives that need to, say, validate a set of biomarkers. Do you ever enter into any kind of partnerships where maybe equity might be shared if resources are scarce for the startup company? Is that something your company has ever entertained?
The company Frontage don't do that. Because Frontage is we call it We are like contract research lab. We don't want to own any other company because there are conflict of interest. Yes, sir.
Okay, that makes sense.
So
Yeah.
if your lab just do research, not develop products, like biomarker, those stuff we can collaborate. I think Frontage itself may not really to invest into your company, but I think we have like even myself and also some colleagues, we can really to talk about. We also collaborate with some like a VC fund, even one like just in California area. So we can work together to do investment. I also help a lot of like the professors, doctors, to really to set up the small business. I can give you several examples, like the professor in Philadelphia area, he have a patent. He tried to look for money. He cannot really get the money. Then we work with him, help him really to prepare the presentation to the investors, and also even help him to work with FDA, get FDA approval for the preclinical study. Then he got $19 million.
Great.
Like a year ago, start the program. Right now, I'm on the Council of Discovery Research at the UPenn. UPenn have a lot of professor or doctor. They have some patent, but they would actually to see how to get the interest from the investors. So I'm working with them, work with the dean and also the vice president of the medical school to help them to connect to the investors. If you have a patent or some technology you think it can be like a potential product, we can work together. I think first we can sign a CDA, make sure like protect your technology, because those one we need to be very careful. If especially you have discovery, to find a way to protect the IP, then move to the next step.
Okay, that's a very a rich answer with a lot of possibilities. So thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jerry. Any questions, my colleagues and students? Students, and a good opportunity to ask questions. Go ahead. Everyone's so quiet.
I have a quick question. And it's really sort of, I think your story is kind of amazing, that you saw this opportunity to provide a service and then invested in making it happen. And I'm so pleased for your success. And I know our students are listening and thinking that must have been terrifying. So I think one of the things we talk about here with entrepreneurship is the risk that you take on when you do that. And we've got students here who are ready to embark on their careers and their professional lives. And I thought maybe you'd talk a little more about how it felt and what advice you would give to sort of move past and take that risk for success.
Yeah, I think that everything you do, there are some risks. So you need really to manage the risk, to see there are any way you can really find a way to take care of it. I'll give you an example, maybe you can understand what am I thinking. Like I think in Vartol, like I'm also like the founder and the CEO, president of from TIDA Biopharma. It's really like this company. Initially, I'm not going to really start the company. I already have Frontage, like really very busy. But I have a client. They call the Mutual Pharmaceutical in Philadelphia. They're like pharmaceutical company. At the peak, they have like 800 people. I know them very well because my first client really is this company. They have a problem. I have them solve the problem. Then each year they give me $1 million to $2 million business. I know their management and many of their employees. But in 2011, they thought the founder really sold the company to Takeda. Takeda in 2013, they sold to Sun Pharma. After like the process, the company really started to really fall down. Especially in 2018, FDA have an inspection. Then they found that the problem, like the problem can be like a warning light. So the Sun Pharma said, no, I don't want to keep it. They want to shut down. They have like that time they have about more than 200, about 200 employees. I know that. I said, okay, if they shut down, those people will lose the job. Then someone they know me said, Dr. Lee, can you like really take over? I calculate, you see the company going down, they lost money. And also there are FDA, potential FDA warning light. So, but I take a look what they have, what's the potential like the issue for the warning light. I know like I can solve the problem. So I started really to take over the operation. So after I take over, like 2 months later, the FDA warning letter comes. If you're in a pharmaceutical company, you get the FDA warning letter. That means the company died, almost died. Big one will survive, the small one will die. But I hire like after I take over, I hire the people, hire like the very good QA VP. Then work with the team, really evaluate all the problem. Then when I get the warning letter, I take the quality VP went to FDA to give them presentation, tell them what we did in last few months, what we are doing, and what we will do in the future. The FDA really, they know me, they know Frontage very well. They know we will very serious take care of the problem. So they gave us time. They said, okay, if you can solve those problems, then we will like lift the warning light. But usually take 2 years. So I told the FDA, with 2 years, the company will die, maybe even 1 year. I said, I have to really, you need to do fast. But FDA said, no, we cannot really go back in 1 year. You have to really to take care of all the issues. Then after 1 year, we'll go back to the inspection. If you pass, we will let you go. But we work with them. I told like our team, every month we give the update, what we did. Then about 4 months later, FDA come back. Usually they don't do that way. I think 5 months later, but like 8 months, take 8 months to lift the warning light. So that's really unusual. Even the FDA told me that's a record short time to lift the warning light. But we are very serious. Our team work together, solve all the problems. We solve we remove the risk. Then the company really started really to take off. Yeah.
Thank you. That's a good question. So I think the time is up, and before I let you go, Dr. Lee, can you give a last recommendation or a last suggestion and advice to our new graduates if they want to find a job, or if they want to find a company? What's your advice?
Okay, maybe the first one, like to find a job. I think right now it's easy to find a job. You know, a lot of companies, they have a job opening. But people always think, okay, you want to find a job you like. But many times, the job you think it's the ideal job, but you take the job, but you may not really like it. You don't say like, found a job you like, you don't need to work. You enjoy the work, right? So just like a vacation. But my advice is that find a way to like your job. Then you don't need to work. No matter what job you get, you have to really choose to find a way, like what's the value for the position? What's the potential opportunity for the career? Then you put the efforts and also try to really to see the value for that position, adopt it, like the job, then you enjoy it. So that's what my advice.
Okay, thank you. So time is up. I don't want to hold everybody because everyone's so busy. Dr. Lee, thank you so much for taking your very busy time to be with us, and we are looking for a partnership with the Sac State. I hope we have a strong tie in the future. And for the audience and everyone, thank you so much for joining us. And Cameron, thank you for the partnership, my friend. We appreciate it. Everyone, thank you so much. Have a good semester. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah,
Thank
nice
you,
to
Doc.
meet you all.
Thank you, Dr. Lee. That was fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.